Hey everyone, welcome to another SMP Relatable. In the previous video, I broke down the numbers showing how affordable it can be to own an investment property. And in the previous example, it came out to $50 a week. Now, I'm often asked, if I have money left over, where should I invest it? Well, there's really only four investment classes. It's putting it in the bank, so cash, superannuation, shares, and/or property. Now, I'm going to go through something that was shown to me many years ago. I'm going to leave out superannuation because for a lot of us, we're already contributing towards that via our salaries. But if we look at the other three asset classes, let's look at the return on investment. The first one is cash. Now, we all know that interest rates in the banks at the moment are terrible. You're lucky to be getting 2.5%. But I'm going to be the Blair Bank of the world, and I'm going to give you a 10% return on your money. So if you've been putting in $50 a week for a whole year, you'd have $2,600. So I'm also going to be kind and assume that you've already got that money in the bank. And if I'm going to give you a 10% return on that money, I'm going to give you $260 extra for your interest payment. The thing is though, we need to remember that interest saved in a bank in Australia, you may have to pay tax on. And if you take into consideration inflation as well, you might actually find that this money is actually going backwards. The next investment class is shares. Now, I do like shares. However, I am risk adverse. I'm a little bit scared about it going up and down and just riding that roller coaster. However, there have been some really good returns in recent years. But I'm going to give you a 20% return on your shares. And for anybody who's invested in shares at the moment, you would be absolutely stoked with getting 20% consistently on your shares. But again, we don't have a share portfolio. We're going to build that up over time. And if we have $2,600 in there for the whole year and we got a 20% return, we're making $520 on our money. We may receive a dividend, but on a total of around $3,000 of holding shares, it's going to be minuscule. The other option is property, and this is probably one of the reasons as to why I prefer property over any other investment class. Not to say that I don't like these, but I just like what it can do for me whilst I hold it. Yesterday we talked about the type of returns that it gives, one being tax incentive, and in the example behind me, we're getting say $6,650 in tax. The other one was rent, and if we get $400 a week for 50 weeks, we're getting $20,000 coming in rent. But the one thing we didn't discuss is capital growth. Again, no crystal ball as to what the return is going to be on our property, but for the last 50 years, it's been between 6 to 8% nationally. If we're going to be conservative and we only get a 2% return, then that means on a $450,000 property, like the example yesterday, we're making $9,000 in capital growth. So if we take out what we've actually spent, the $50, we're still well ahead of the other two investment classes. Now, to cover everybody off, yes, we haven't borrowed money for shares because there is an opportunity that we borrow money and we go purchase even more shares, which means that our growth would be bigger. However, for a lot of my clients, they don't have a 50% deposit to add towards the loan that they need to go buy additional shares. I'm going to focus on property today because if we were to have that, the rent and the tax, if we use them correctly, we can pay off our owner-occupied home loan even faster, and that way we get interest savings as well. So when I just look at if I've got $50, it's what's going to give me the greatest overall return. I hope this has been insightful and I hope it breeds discussion because I know there's going to be some share people out there that would debate this as well, and I'd love to have that discussion with you. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and share with your friends and family, and remember, anything worth having in this life, we want to save, make and protect.